Welcome to another episode of Thailand Truth Talks, the Expat Triangle. He thought Thailand would be a fresh start. After 37 years as a mechanical engineer in London, Alan Samson had learned his escape. The divorce settlement was finalized, the pension was secure, and at 62, he still had enough years ahead to build something new, something better. But what comes when the place you trusted most becomes the one that breaks you? I've seen the dreams, the failures, and everything in between. Today, I need to tell you about Alan's story, not because it's unique, but because it's becoming terrifyingly common here in Thailand. This isn't entertainment. This is survival. Alan arrived at Suvarnabhumi Airport on a Tuesday morning of March 2023, carrying 2 suitcases and a carefully researched plan. He'd spent months on Thai visa forums, reading expat blogs, studying visa requirements. He wasn't one of those impulsive retirees who showed up with nothing but dreams and a credit card. He had numbers, real numbers. His UK pension would give him 95,000 baht per month. His savings account held 2.8 million baht, enough for the retirement visa requirement with plenty left over. He'd even pre-booked a serviced apartment in Sukhumvit for the first month while he looked for something permanent. The plan was simple. Find a nice condo, maybe near the BTS, learn some Thai, join an expat football club, live comfortably on half his pension, and save the rest. Maybe travel around Southeast Asia. Maybe find companionship, but carefully, intelligently. For the first 2 weeks, everything went according to plan. He found a 1-bedroom condo in Thonglor for 35,000 baht per month. The building was new, the neighbors were quiet, and the management spoke English. He opened a bank account at Bangkok Bank with minimal fuss. He even enrolled in Thai language classes at a school near Phrom Phong. Then he downloaded ThaiFriendly. The profile that caught his attention belonged to Nicha, 28-year-old working as a hotel manager in Pattaya. Her photos showed a woman with an easy smile, dressed conservatively. Always in professional settings or with family. No bikini shots, no nightclub pictures, no obvious red flags. Her first message was in broken but earnest English. "Hello, Alan. I saw your profile and think you seem like a good man. I'm not looking for games or money. I want to find someone serious for a long relationship. Would you like to chat?" They talked for 3 weeks before meeting. She never asked for money, never mentioned financial difficulties, never pushed for personal details. She sent photos of her daily life, her small apartment, her breakfast, her cat. She asked about his engineering work, his family, his reasons for coming to Thailand. When they finally met at a coffee shop in Central World, she was exactly who she claimed to be. Punctual, well-dressed, genuinely interested in conversation. She insisted on paying for her own coffee. "I need to tell you something," she said during their second meeting. "I have been hurt before by foreign men who only want Thai women for a short time. I'm looking for someone who wants to build real relationship, take things slow." Alan was impressed. Here was a woman who understood the importance of patience, of building trust. She wasn't after a quick score or a foreign passport. She wanted what he wanted, something real. They dated for 6 weeks. She would drive up from Pattaya on weekends, staying in her own hotel room, never presuming to move too fast. They visited temples, went to markets, shared meals. She was teaching him Thai words, and he was helping her practice English. She talked about her family with obvious affection. Her father had been a taxi driver before his stroke. Her mother sold somtam at a local market. She had a younger brother studying at university in Chiang Mai. She sent money home every month. 20,000 baht, she said, about half her salary. Thai people take care of family, she explained. It is our responsibility, maybe different from Western culture, but this is how we show love. Alan found this admirable. He began to imagine a future where he might help support her family too, not as a burden, but as a privilege, the chance to be part of something larger than himself. He was falling in love, and for the first time in years, he felt like someone was falling in love with him too. The phone call came at 3:47 a.m. on a Thursday in June. Alan, I am so sorry to call you late. I am at hospital. My father, he had another stroke. Very bad this time. I don't know what to do. Her voice was shaking, broken by tears. In the background, he could hear the unmistakable sounds of a hospital emergency room. Announcements in Thai, the shuffle of medical staff, the beep of machines. I'm coming, he said, already reaching for his clothes. Which hospital? No, it's too far. I need to stay here with my mother. She is not handling this well. I am scared, Alan. I am so scared. They talked for 40 minutes. She wasn't asking for money. She wasn't asking for anything except emotional support. She was terrified, alone, dealing with a family crisis in the middle of the night. Over the next week, she would call every day with updates. Her father was stable but needed surgery. The doctor said it would cost 180,000 baht. Her mother was falling apart. Her brother had to leave university to help. Alan offered to visit, to help however he could. Nicha refused. This is my family responsibility, she said. I cannot ask you to pay for my problems. We have only been together 2 months. It is not fair. But Alan had already made his decision. He transferred 200,000 baht to her account with a message. For your father's surgery, please don't argue. This is what people do for people they love. The gratitude in her voice was overwhelming. She cried on the phone, telling him he was the kindest man she'd ever known. Her whole family wanted to meet him now, she said. They were calling him their hero. The surgery was successful. Her father was recovering. Life returned to normal, or what felt like normal. 3 months later, it was her brother's university fees. The scholarship had been cancelled due to budget cuts. Without 150,000 baht, he would have dropped out with only 1 year remaining. I'm trying to find another way, she said. Maybe I can get a loan from bank, but interest rate is very high. I don't want to ask you again. You have already done so much. Alan sent the money that same day. A month after that, her mother's market stall was robbed. The thieves took everything. Her cash, her scales, her motorcycle. Without 80,000 baht to restart, the family would have no income. Then it was emergency dental work. a motorcycle accident, medicine for her father's recovery. Each request was accompanied by photos, receipts, hospital documents. Each request was reluctantly made, with apologies and promises to pay him back. Over 8 months, Alan sent 847,000 baht, nearly a third of all his savings. But something was changing. Nicha's visits to Bangkok were becoming less frequent. Her phone calls were shorter. She seemed distracted, always dealing with some new crisis. In February of 2024, she asked for 120,000 baht for her father's medication. When Alan asked for the hospital receipts, she said she'd already paid cash and forgotten to keep the document. "You don't trust me?" she asked, her voice hurt. "After everything we've gone through together?" Alan sent the money, but that night he did something he'd never done before. He hired a private investigator. The report came back 3 weeks later. Nicha's real name was Natida Charompong. She was 34, not 28. She worked at a go-go bar in Pattaya, not a hotel. She had been arrested twice for fraud. Once in 2019, once in 2021. Both cases were dismissed when the foreign complainants left the country. Her father was alive and healthy. He owned a small restaurant in Buriram. Her mother sold lottery tickets, not somtam. Her brother had graduated from university 4 years earlier and worked as a bank clerk in Bangkok. The private investigator found evidence of at least 6 other foreign men who had sent her money for similar emergencies over the past 3 years. The total was estimated at over 3.2 million baht. When Alan confronted her, she denied everything. When he showed her the evidence, she broke down crying, claiming she'd been forced into it by dangerous people who would hurt her family if she didn't comply. When he demanded his money back, she stopped answering her phone. The last message he received from her was a simple text. "I am sorry. Please forget about me and be happy." 8 months of love, trust, and carefully built dreams had evaporated in a single afternoon. But Alan's story was just the beginning. Heartbreak makes you vulnerable. Heartbreak makes you careless. And in Thailand, carelessness can cost you everything. While Alan was dealing with the emotional devastation of Nicha's betrayal, his tourist visa was running out. He'd been in Thailand for 10 months, extending every 60 days. But immigration officers were asking harder questions. The writing was on the wall. He needed a long-term visa solution, and he needed it fast. That's when he found Thai Visa Center. The office was impressive. 20th floor of a glass tower in Silom, reception area with leather furniture and professional signage. The agent, a well-dressed Thai man named Kun Thanom, spoke perfect English and had certificates from the Thai Ministry of Foreign Affairs on his wall. "Mr. Samson," Thanom said, reviewing Alan's financial documents, "you are in excellent position for our premium investment visa program. Very few foreigners qualify for this." The Thailand Elite program was expensive, 600,000 baht for 5 years. But Thanom had something better. A new government initiative, he explained, designed to attract skilled retirees. For 180,000 baht, plus a 400,000 baht investment in a government-approved fund, Alan could get a 5-year visa with work permissions and a path to permanent residency. "This program is very exclusive," Thanom explained. Only 50 visas per year. I have connections in immigration department. I can guarantee approval within 30 days. The documentation looked legitimate. Official letterhead, government seals, detailed explanations of requirements. Thanom showed Alan testimonials from other clients, photos of successful visa approvals, even a certificate claiming he was an authorized agent for the program. Alan was suspicious. The price seemed too good to be true, but he was also desperate. His savings were already depleted from the Nicha situation, and he couldn't afford the full Thailand elite fee. "Let me think about it," he said. "Of course," Thanom replied, "but I must warn you, this program is very popular. I only have 3 spots remaining for this quarter. If you wait too long, you will miss this opportunity." Alan spent the weekend researching. He found mentions of similar programs on Thai government websites, though the details were vague. He couldn't find specific information about the investment fund, but government bureaucracy was notoriously opaque. Several Thai visa forum posts mentioned successful applications through Thai Visa Center, though the details were sparse. The pressure was mounting. His current visa extension would expire in 18 days. If he left the country and tried to return, he might be denied entry. He'd already invested too much in his Thai life to start over somewhere else. On Monday morning, he paid a 180,000 baht fee and transferred 400,000 baht to the designated investment account. Thanom was all smiles and efficiency. Photographs were taken. Documents were signed. Fingerprints were recorded. Alan received an official receipt and a temporary visa document, allowing him to stay in Thailand while his application was processed. "Everything is now in motion," Thanom said. "You will have your 5-year visa within 30 days, guaranteed." For 3 weeks, Alan felt optimistic. He received regular updates from Thanom's office. The application was being reviewed. Additional documentation was being prepared. Approval was imminent. On day 28, he called for an update. The office phone was disconnected. He went to the building in Silong. The 20th floor office was empty. Stripped of furniture with only carpet marks where the desks had been. The building security guard said the company had moved out 3 days earlier, leaving no forwarding address. Alan went to the immigration office at Cheng Watana. The officer looked at his temporary visa documents and frowned. "This is not real visa," she said. "This is fake documents. You are overstaying your visa for 3 days now. You must pay fine and leave country immediately." The investment fund didn't exist. The government program was fictional. The certificates on Thanom's wall were forgeries. Thai Visa Center was a complete scam, and Alan had walked into it with his eyes wide open. The overstay fine was 1,500 baht, but the real cost was much higher. He'd lost 580,000 baht and his legal right to remain in Thailand. Immigration gave him 7 days to leave the country, with a warning that any future visa applications would be heavily scrutinized. Alan's carefully planned retirement was collapsing, but the worst was yet to come. Desperation breeds bad decisions, and when you're facing deportation from the country you've come to call home, desperation can make you believe in miracles. Alan had 6 days to leave Thailand or face arrest. His savings were nearly gone. His visa situation was hopeless, and his confidence was shattered. He was scrolling through Facebook groups for expat advice when he saw a post that caught his attention. Urgent. Business partner needed. Legitimate opportunity. The poster was Johnny Green, a British expat who'd been in Thailand for 8 years. His profile showed a successful-looking man in his 50s, standing in front of a thriving restaurant in Koh Samui. The comments were filled with congratulations from other expats, praised for his business acumen, and thanks for his help with visa issues. The opportunity was simple. Johnny had found a prime piece of land in Buriram, perfectly positioned for a resort development. The local government was offering special incentives for foreign investment, including fast-track visa approvals for business partners. I've already invested 2 million baht, Johnny explained when Alan called, but I need one more partner to complete the purchase. 800,000 baht investment gets you 25% ownership and immediate business visa. The land is already surveyed, permits are approved, and we start construction next month. Alan was skeptical, but Johnny was persuasive. He sent photos of the land, copies of the survey documents, and a detailed business plan. He video called from the property, showing the plot boundaries and explaining the development timeline. I understand you're nervous, Johnny said. I was too when I first came to Thailand. But this is legitimate business. I can arrange for you to meet the local government officials, see the permits yourself. You can even stay at my resort on Samui while you decide. The visa angle was particularly appealing. As a business partner, Alan would qualify for a 1-year extension with multiple re-entry permits. It would buy him time to figure out his long-term situation. With 3 days left before his deportation deadline, Alan flew to Koh Samui. Johnny met him at the airport in a new Toyota Fortuner. The resort was impressive. 24 rooms, restaurant, swimming pool, staff quarters. Everything looked legitimate and successful. I started with nothing, Johnny said over dinner. Came here with 500,000 baht and a dream. Now I employ 37 people and clear 400,000 baht profit every month. Thailand rewards hard work if you know how to navigate the system. Alan was convinced to make a trip to Buriram. The land was exactly as advertised. 5 rai of a beautiful property with mountain views, perfect for a boutique resort. Johnny showed Alan the survey markers, the government permits, and the architectural plans. They met with the local officials the next morning. The deputy mayor spoke enthusiastic English and confirmed the investment incentives. The permits were legitimate. The zoning was approved, and foreign investment was welcome. This is a win-win situation, the deputy mayor said. Foreign investment creates jobs for local people. Government supports this 100%. Alan signed the partnership agreement that afternoon. He transferred 800,000 baht to the project account and received official documentation showing his 25% ownership stake. For the first time in months, he felt optimistic. He had a legitimate business investment, a pathway to long-term residency, and a partner who understood the Thai system. The business visa was approved within a week. Alan returned to Bangkok with legal status and renewed confidence. He started making plans for the resort development, researching construction companies and hospitality management. 6 weeks later, he tried to call Johnny. The phone was disconnected. He flew back to Koh Samui and found the resort closed. The staff said Johnny had left suddenly, claiming a family emergency in the UK. The property was being sold to pay debts. Alan then went to Buriram and found the land plot empty except for a small shack. The survey markers were gone. The local official he'd met claimed to have no knowledge of any resort development or foreign investment incentives. The deputy mayor he'd met with didn't exist. The permits were forgeries. The partnership agreement was worthless. The private investigator Alan hired found the truth. Johnny Green was actually Daniel Thompson, a con artist who'd been running land scams across Thailand for 3 years. The Samui resort was rented, not owned. The staff were paid actors. The local officials were Thompson's associates, running a sophisticated operation targeting desperate expats. Alan had lost another 800,000 baht. More importantly, he'd lost his last chance at legitimate residency in Thailand. You have reached the British Embassy Consular Services. If this is an emergency, please press 1. For passport services, press 2. For general inquiries, Alan pressed 1, then 2, then hung up and tried again. He'd been calling for 3 days, trying to reach someone who would help him understand his legal options. The visa agent scam, the investment fraud, the fake business partnership. Surely there was some recourse, some way to recover his money and his situation. When he finally reached a consular officer, the conversation was brief and devastating. "I'm sorry, Mr. Samson, but these are civil matters. We can't intervene in business disputes or recover lost funds. My advice is to contact a Thai lawyer, though I should warn you that the success rate for these types of cases is very low." The lawyer's office was in a cramped building near the courthouse, accessed through a narrow stairwell that smelt of cigarettes and mildew. Kun Praset spoke decent English and listened patiently as Alan explained his situation. "Very difficult case," Praset said finally. "Thai police do not like to investigate crimes against foreigners, especially financial crimes. Even if we find these people, they probably have no money left. Even if we win in courts, you probably cannot collect judgment." The consultation fee was 5,000 baht. Just for the initial case review, Praset would need another 50,000 baht. To pursue all 3 cases through the Thai legal system will cost at least 300,000 baht and take 2 to 3 years. Alan didn't have 100,000 baht. He barely had 30,000 baht. He tried the Thai police. The officer at the tourist police station was sympathetic but helpless. "These people are professionals," the officer explained. "They know how to disappear. They probably have new identities already. Even if we catch them, they will say money was gift or legitimate business investment. Very hard to prove fraud." Alan tried the forums. He posted detailed accounts of his experiences on Thai Visa, ThaiVisa.com, and Reddit's r/Thailand. Their responses were a mix of sympathy and harsh reality. "Sorry, mates, but you got played," one poster wrote. Classic romance scam followed by visa scam followed by investment scam. They probably had your profile from the first day and planned the whole thing. Another poster was more direct. "This is why you don't trust Thai women. Don't use visa agents and don't invest in Thai businesses. You ignored every red flag and now you're surprised it went wrong." The sympathy posts were almost worse. Dozens of expats sharing similar stories. A German man who lost 1.2 million baht to a bar girl's sick mother. Australian who paid 200,000 baht for a fake work permit. and the American who invested 3 million baht in a Phuket restaurant that never existed. "Welcome to the club," one poster wrote. "We all learn the hard way. Thailand is beautiful, but it's also dangerous if you don't know the rules." Alan was learning the rules too late. His savings were gone. His visa was temporary and precocious. His dream of a comfortable retirement in Thailand had become a nightmare of financial ruin and legal uncertainty. He started drinking. Not heavily at first, just a beer or two in the afternoon to numb the anxiety. But as the reality of his situation set in, the drinking increased. Wine with lunch, whiskey before bed, anything to quiet the voice in his head that kept asking the same question: how could you have been so stupid? His condo lease was up for renewal, but he couldn't afford the deposit. He moved to a cheaper place in Lat Phrao, then to an even cheaper room in Hoi Quang. The neighborhoods got worse, the accommodations got smaller, and the future got darker. He started selling his possessions: the laptop, the camera, the nice clothes he'd brought from England. Everything had to go to pay for rent, food, and the occasional visa extension. The worst part wasn't the money. It was the shame. The knowledge that he'd been in the perfect mark. Lonely, optimistic, trusting. He'd fallen for every trick, ignored every warning sign, and rationalized every red flag. He stopped calling his family in England. How do you explain to your daughter that you've lost your entire retirement savings to scammers? How do you tell your friends that the man they knew as a careful and intelligent person had been completely fooled? The isolation was crushing. He'd cut ties with most of the expat community out of embarrassment. He couldn't afford to join social activities. He spent most of his time in his room, drinking cheap whiskey and wondering how his life had gone so wrong. Alan's story doesn't end with redemption. There's no Hollywood moment where he recovers his money or gets his revenge. There's no wise mentor who helps him rebuild his life. There's no happy ending. Alan Samson is still in Thailand, living in a 8,000 baht per month room in Rakham Heng, surviving on what's left of his UK pension after the currency conversion and Thai taxes. He's 64 now, too old to start over, too poor to leave, too ashamed to go home. He's not alone. The British Embassy estimates that over 200 UK nationals contact them each year about financial fraud in Thailand. The Australian Embassy reports similar numbers. The US Embassy stopped providing statistics, but consular officers privately admit the problem is massive and growing. The Thai government's own tourism authority conducted a study in 2023 that found over 40% of long-term Western expats had been victims of financial crime. The average loss was 1.2 million baht. The recovery rate was less than 5%. These aren't random crimes. They're systematic, professional operations designed to identify and exploit vulnerable foreigners. The romance scammers have training materials, target profiles, and sophisticated emotional manipulation techniques. The visa agents have networks of corrupted officials and expertly forged documents. The investment fraudsters have legitimate-looking fronts and credible references. They're hunting you right now as you listen to this. There are people in Thailand whose full-time job is to identify foreign men with money, loneliness, and trust. They study your social media, your forum posts, your dating profiles. They know your vulnerabilities before you do. The South Korean man I mentioned earlier, the one who lost 10 million baht to a Pattaya bar hostess with fake cancer, he wasn't stupid. He was a successful businessman who built a multi-million-dollar company, but he was also divorced, lonely, and desperate for connection. The scammers found his weakness and exploited it perfectly. The Australian who lost 3 million baht to fake bond investments wasn't naive. He was a former banker who understood financial markets. But he was also retired, bored, and looking for excitement. The scammers gave him exactly what he wanted to hear. The patterns are always the same. Romance scammers target divorced men over 50, preferably with recent financial windfalls like pension payouts or property sales. They build trust slowly, never rushing, always playing the long game. They create emotional dependency before introducing financial requests. Visa scammers target men with immigration problems, offering solutions that seem too good to be true, but are presented with professional credibility. They exploit desperation and time pressure, forcing quick decisions without proper research. Investment scammers target men with money but limited business experience in Thailand. They offer partnerships, real estate opportunities, or business ventures that promise both profit and visa solutions. They use legitimate-looking paperwork and credible references to build confidence. The sophistication is remarkable. These aren't street-level hustlers or bar-girl opportunists. These are organized criminal enterprises with training programs, customer databases, and coordinated operations across multiple provinces. They have profiles on every dating app, agencies in every expat area, and investment opportunities in every popular tourist destination. They know which visa agents are corrupt, which police officers can be bought, and which courts will dismiss foreign complaints. They're better at this than you are at detecting it. They've spent years perfecting their techniques while you've spent years living in countries where basic trust is assumed. They know exactly what lonely expat men want to hear, and they're excellent at saying it. The truth is harder to accept. Thailand is a predatory environment for financially comfortable foreign men. The cultural differences, language barriers, and legal complexities create perfect conditions for sophisticated fraud. The low prosecution rates and ineffective legal remedies mean the risk-reward ratio heavily favors the scammers. This doesn't mean Thailand is evil or that all Thai people are criminals. The vast majority of Thais are honest, hard-working people who would never dream of scamming foreigners. But the minority who do engage in these activities are extremely good at it, and they're specifically targeting men like you. Thailand can be a wonderful place to live, but only if you understand and respect its dangers. The paradise you're seeking is real, but so are the predators who want to take it from you. The choice is yours, but choose wisely, because second chances are rare, and the consequences are permanent.